In the endless night sky, among thousands of twinkling stars, lived a little star named Sparkle. She was young, bright, and full of dreams. Every evening, when darkness covered the sky, the older stars would shine, forming constellations, guiding travelers and sailors, and even falling to make wishes come true. Sparkle also wanted to be useful, but no matter how hard she tried to shine brighter, she always felt that her light was too weak compared to the others. "What's the point of me if I'm so small?" she whispered sadly, watching her older star sisters. One day, Sparkle gathered her courage and asked the Great Bear, who was known for her wisdom, "Great Bear, I want to be important like you. How can I find my purpose?" The wise star looked at her and said, "You are still young, but your time will come. Every star has its place in the universe, but not all understand their strength right away. You will find your path." "But how?" Sparkle asked, feeling lost. "Look around. Those who seek will always find," the Great Bear answered mysteriously. Sparkle thought for a moment and decided to keep searching for an answer. She flew to the moon, who was big and majestic. "Oh, mighty moon, teach me how to shine as brightly as you," the little star pleaded. The moon smiled gently. "I do not shine on my own. I only reflect the light of the sun. But you, little star, have your own light. It's not about how strong it is, but who it shines for." Sparkle thought about his words, but she still didn't quite understand. Then she flew to a meteor shower, watching as they streaked quickly across the sky. "You are so bright and fast. How can I become like you?" Sparkle asked. One of the meteors passing by said, "We shine only for a moment as we fall to earth, but you can shine forever. The most important thing is knowing who your light is for." Sparkle still didn't know who needed her light. She started to doubt if she would ever find the answer. That evening, feeling lost, she looked down at Earth and saw a little girl sitting by her window crying. "She looks so sad," the little star whispered. Sparkle moved closer and heard the girl speaking softly to herself. "The darkness is so scary. I feel so alone." And at that moment, Sparkle knew exactly what she had to do. She began to shine just a little brighter, and her soft glow twinkled in the girl's window. The little girl noticed the tiny light and her eyes widened. "Oh, what a beautiful star," she whispered with joy. Her tears dried and a smile appeared on her face. "Thank you for being there, little star. Now I'm not afraid." Sparkle felt warmth fill her heart. The next night, she no longer searched for answers. She knew now that even the smallest light could make a difference to someone. Every night from then on, she shined for the little girl, helping her fall asleep without fear. One night, the Great Bear came to Sparkle and said, "Now you understand that even the smallest light can change someone's life." "Yes," Sparkle answered happily. "I have found my place." Sometimes we think we have to be big and powerful to matter. But in reality, even the tiniest light can bring joy to someone. We all have our place in the world, and the most important thing is finding those who need our light. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Sofika. She was smart and kind, but there was one thing about her that often caused trouble. She didn't know how to wait. When her mom would say, "Wait just a minute, I'll be right back," Sofika would start stomping her feet and getting upset. And if someone promised her ice cream, but she had to wait a little, she'd immediately feel hurt and angry. One warm summer day, Sofika went to the park with her parents. they decided to sit on a bench near a big fountain. Sofia noticed children playing around the fountain and wanted to join them. "Mom, I want to go to the fountain now," she said impatiently. "Wait a little, Sofia. We'll go in a moment." But Sofia didn't listen and ran off toward the fountain on her own. Suddenly, a big green beetle flew up to her. "Where are you rushing off to, Sofia?" the beetle asked. Sofia was surprised because she'd never seen a beetle talk before. "I want to play by the fountain, but everyone keeps making me wait," she replied angrily. The beetle smiled. "I know a secret. If you learn to wait, the world will become much more exciting for you. Want to give it a try?" Sofia wasn't sure if she could trust a beetle, but she nodded anyway. The beetle took out a tiny leaf from behind its wings and handed it to her. "This is the leaf of patience. Whenever you feel like rushing, look at it. It will show you why waiting can sometimes be worth it." Sofia took the leaf and walked back to her parents. At first, it seemed like an ordinary leaf, but when she felt like running to the fountain again, the leaf suddenly grew warm in her hand and a picture appeared on it. The picture showed a boy planting a seed in the ground. Sofia watched as the seed slowly grew into a beautiful flower. "That's how everything works," said the beetle's voice from somewhere nearby. "Flowers, trees, friendships, and even your wishes. They all need a little time." Sofia thought about it. She realized that everything in nature happens slowly, and that's what makes it beautiful. She went back to her mom, waited patiently, and together they walked to the fountain. From that day on, whenever Sofia found it hard to wait, she would look at the leaf of patience. The pictures on it always reminded her that good things take time. Eventually, Sofia didn't need the leaf anymore because she had learned to enjoy waiting. The leaf disappeared, leaving her with a new understanding. She had discovered an important truth. When you know how to wait, life becomes much more interesting because you notice things you didn't see before. This story teaches us that patience is a valuable quality. It helps us find harmony within ourselves and the world around us. When we learn to wait, we discover more beauty, happiness, and wisdom. Even the best things in life take time to grow and blossom.
In the warm, crystal-clear sea, where gentle waves rocked the coral reefs, lived a little fish named Pearl. She was very curious and loved exploring the world. What's down in the deep? What other wonders are hiding in the sea? She often asked her mother. "The ocean is beautiful, my little one, but it's not always safe," her mother would say. But Pearl wanted to see everything for herself. One day she set off to explore the deep, not knowing what was waiting for her. Swimming between the coral, she admired the colorful jellyfish when suddenly she noticed something strange in the water. It was a large, see-through object, floating like a living jellyfish. "Wow! What is that?" the little fish wondered, swimming closer. But as soon as she touched it with her fin, the object suddenly wrapped around her. It was a plastic bag that had been thrown into the sea by humans. Pearl started to panic. The more she struggled, the more tangled she became. "Help me!" she called out, but no one could hear her through the deep water. Nearby, an old wise sea turtle named Atlanta was swimming past. "What's wrong, little one?" "I can't get out. It's some kind of trap." The turtle gently grabbed the bag with her mouth and began to tear it apart. Rip! The bag tore, and Pearl slipped free. "Phew! Thank you, Miss Atlanta. That was a scary monster." "That wasn't a monster, little one. That was human trash. Pearl was confused. How did trash get into the ocean? Humans often throw it away without thinking, and it ends up in the water, becoming dangerous for all sea creatures. The turtle looked around sadly. I've seen dolphins mistake plastic bottles for fish, and baby turtles get stuck in ropes. What can we do? Pearl asked, worried. Tell everyone you meet. If more fish, turtles, and even humans learn about this, they'll stop littering. Pearl nodded. She now had an important mission. When she returned home, she told all the little fish about the dangers of plastic waste. We have to be careful. If you see something like this, don't go near it. But that wasn't all. Together with Turtle Atlanta, they decided to find a way to clean up the sea. They started collecting trash, pulling it out of the coral reefs, and asking other sea creatures to help. Dolphins carried plastic bottles to the surface, crabs pulled out tangled ropes, and even the smallest fish brought tiny bits of trash. Soon, humans who loved the ocean saw how much garbage had built up and started cleaning the beaches so the waste wouldn't end up in the water. Over time, the ocean became cleaner, and the little fish could swim without fear. And Pearl became a hero of the sea, because even a small fish can make a big difference. The ocean is home to many creatures, and we must keep it clean. Caring for nature means protecting all who live in it. Never leave trash behind. Keep both the land and water clean, because everything we throw away can harm nature. Even the smallest action can change the world. Little Andrieko stood by the kindergarten door, holding his mother's hand tightly. Today was his first day at kindergarten. I don't want to go here, he whispered, looking at the bright building with big windows. Don't worry, my dear, his mother smiled. You'll make new friends, play games, draw, go outside, and even listen to fairy tales. But Andrieko just frowned. How can I play if everything here is so unfamiliar? How can I make friends if everyone already knows each other? I want to go home, he said, squeezing his mother's hand even tighter. But his mom gently leaned down and whispered, I will come back for you after lunch, I promise. And in the meantime, you can explore and see what kindergarten is like inside. Andrieko hesitantly took a step forward. Inside the classroom, there were many children. Some were playing with toy cars. Some were stacking soft blocks. Others were making clay figures. And some were looking through picture books. Hello, Andrieko, the kind teacher, Miss Olena said. Let me show you around. She led him to a table where two kids were sitting. Meet Dimitro and Sofika. They're drawing. You can join them if you'd like. But Andrieko shook his head. He didn't really like drawing. That's okay. Let's go see what other toys we have. Slowly he followed the teacher. The room was filled with so many toys that it was hard to choose where to start. But Andrieko still stood aside, until suddenly he heard, "Oh no, help, the tower is falling." In the middle of the room, a boy named Sasha was building a tall tower out of blocks, but it started to wobble. Andrieko quickly ran over and managed to steady it just in time. "Wow, you saved our tower," Sasha cheered. "Can you help us make it even taller?" Nastya asked. At first, Andrieko hesitated, but then he nodded, and soon the three of them were building a huge castle with towers. Andrieko was finally smiling. After playing inside, the teacher announced that it was time to go outside. We have a big yard with slides, swings, and a sandbox, Miss Olena said. The children ran outside. Sasha went straight to the swings, and Nastya ran to the slide. Andreyko stood still, unsure of what to do or where to go. Then he noticed a big sandbox where a boy and a girl were building a sandcastle. "Hi, want to help us dig a moat around our castle?" the boy asked. Andreyko didn't hesitate this time. He sat down next to them. Together they built sand tunnels and even made a little bridge out of sticks. "Let's call our city the Sandy Kingdom," Andreyko suggested. "Great idea," the kids cheered. And just like that, without even realizing it, Andreyko had made 2 new friends. After the outdoor playtime, the children returned to the classroom. Soon, their parents would arrive, and Andreyko suddenly realized he didn't want to go home yet. Kindergarten was actually fun. "Tomorrow, can we build our Sandy Kingdom again?" he asked his new friends. "Of course," Nastya smiled. "I'll join too," Sasha added happily. "Awesome! Just don't start without me." Andreyko laughed. When his mom arrived, Andreyko waved excitedly to his friends. "See you tomorrow. I can't wait for our next adventure." He ran up to his mom. "Mom, today we built a huge tower, played outside, and made a sandcastle with my new friends. Can I come back to kindergarten tomorrow?" His mom smiled and gently patted his head. "Of course, my brave boy." And now, Andreyko knew kindergarten wasn't a scary place. It was a place where you could make new friends and have lots of fun. Every new day is a chance to make friends. Don't be afraid of new things. They might turn out to be exciting. Together, everything becomes more fun and easier. In a small town among cozy houses and blooming gardens lived a cat named Snowball. He was fluffy, graceful, had striped fur, and beautiful green eyes. His owner, Grandma Olia, loved him very much. She fed him fresh milk, scratched behind his ears, and even let him sleep on her pillow. It seemed like the perfect life, but Snowball had one big problem. He wanted to be a dog. Every time he looked out the window, he saw the neighbor's cheerful dog, Baron. Baron could bark at passers-by, chase balls, run after his own tail, and even entertain the children in the yard. "Why was I born a cat?" Snowball grumbled as he watched Baron. "We cats just sleep, eat, and sit quietly in cozy spots. But dogs, they're real heroes. Everyone loves them. They get to chase sticks and they play all day long." Snowball made a decision. He would become a dog. To become a real dog, Snowball decided he needed to learn how to bark. He stood on all fours, took a deep breath, and meow. No, that's not right. Woof, woof. But what came out sounded more like a mix between a squeaky mouse and a whistling kettle. Baron heard these strange noises and ran over to the fence. "Snowball, what are you doing?" he asked. "I'm trying to learn how to bark because I want to be a dog." Baron laughed. "But you're a cat." "So what? I'll prove that I can be just like you." Baron shook his head and ran off to play while Snowball stayed by the window watching him sadly. Then, Snowball realized that real dogs knew how to chase balls. He asked Baron to teach him. "All right, Snowball, watch and follow me." Baron jumped up skillfully and caught a ball in midair. Then he ran across the yard, wagging his tail. "Your turn," he said, tossing the ball with his paw. The ball rolled, and Snowball ran after it. But after just 3 seconds, he sat down on the grass. "Oh, I'm tired." "But you only took 3 steps," Baron laughed. I'm a cat. We don't chase balls. Snowball huffed. Baron playfully wagged his tail. See? And you wanted to be a dog. Snowball sighed. Maybe being a dog was harder than he thought. All right, Snowball decided. I'll be a guard dog instead. He sat by the gate, fluffed up his tail, and stared at the street, ready to protect the house. A few minutes later, the mailman walked by. Woof, woof, he tried to growl. The mailman stopped and looked surprised. Snowball, are you feeling okay? Snowball blushed and softly purred. No, I'm just guarding the house. The mailman chuckled. But you always just purr at my feet. So, are you the new guard now? Snowball proudly lifted his head. Yes. But after 5 minutes, he got bored, and after 10 minutes, he fell asleep right on the porch. Baron saw him and said, Well, guard dog, did you fall asleep on the job? Snowball sighed. Being a dog is really hard. The next morning, Snowball woke up and stretched. Grandma Olia scratched behind his ear and poured him a bowl of warm milk. Ah, this is delicious. Snowball purred happily. He looked out the window and saw Baron running in the rain, barking at birds. Brr, it's so cold, Baron said. Baron, why don't you just stay inside where it's warm? No, I have to run and guard the yard. Snowball looked at his cozy blanket, his bowl of milk, and his soft spot on the windowsill, and realized something. Being a cat is pretty great too. You can play, purr, bask in the sun, and enjoy life without any extra worries. And the next time he heard Baron barking and running in the rain, Snowball snuggled deeper into his warm blanket and purred happily. Being a cat is the best thing in the world. You don't need to be someone else. Your uniqueness is your strength. And from that day on, Snowball no longer dreamed of being a dog. He became the happiest cat in the world. Give this video a like and subscribe to Kazkoland Kids channel. There are so much more interesting stories to come.